Philpott,
Yep.
Damon Tobler,
Yep.
Tobler. I'm not sure which one.
And Colin Sturgill.
Colin Sturgill. What did you like? What did you like most about coaching?
Winning. Dumb question. We appreciate you being at the station and running the board, and we are bringing you Emory and Henry Athletics live from the King Center, men's basketball, with their first game of the season, and at home at that, as they take on the visiting Eagles of Alice Lloyd. We'll give you the starting lineups here in just a minute, but we'll pause first for the national anthem as we honor America. All right, welcome back to men's basketball action as Emory and Henry takes on the Eagles of Alice Lloyd. As we said earlier, I'm Joy Scruggs bringing you the play-by-play, and alongside me, I'll let him introduce himself.
I am Brandon Cox, doing color.
And so we will be bringing you Emory and Henry action this year. Home games, men's and women's, here from the Bob Johnson Court in the John Rutledge King Center on the campus of Emory and Henry College. Brandon, how about giving us the starting lineup for the Alice Lloyd Eagles?
Yes. First we have number 6'1" guard from Danville, Kentucky, number 5, Bryce Sloan, junior guard. 6 foot from Highland, Kentucky, senior guard, number 12, Noah Young. 6'5" freshman.
No, he's a junior.
My fault. 6'5"
junior
forward.
That F threw you off there.
From Winchester, Kentucky, Will Philpott. 6'4" guard from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, sophomore, number 20, Damon Tolber. And 6'10" from Wise, Virginia, center forward, junior, number 23, Colin Sturgill.
And the Eagles come into tonight's contest 2-0 on the season, having already played 2 games. Emory and Henry is their first game, although they've played an exhibition game and had a scrimmage. They played at Radford the other night and lost by 12, outscored Radford by 4 in the second period. What's going on now? There seems to be a pause. Oh, they're shutting off the lights for the Emory and Henry starting lineup. Let's see if I can read the lineup in the dark. A 5'11" sophomore guard from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, averaging 7 points last season, almost 5 rebounds, and almost 5 assists on the season, number 2, Patrick Antonelli. a 6'2" senior from Simpsonville, South Carolina, starting at guard, averaging last season 11 points a game, 4.3 rebounds a game. Number 3, Micah Banks, a 6'3" junior guard from Concord, North Carolina, averaging 8.5 points a game last season, 4 rebounds, and led the team with in field goal percentage, shooting 53.4% from the floor. Number 4, Malcolm Morgan. And starting at forward, a 6'8" junior from Chilhowie, Virginia, who last season averaged 3.8 points a game, 2.1 rebounds a game. Number 42, Dylan Ketron. And starting as a freshman, 6'8" forward from Grundy, Virginia, who was a 3-time All-State honoree for the state of Virginia. Number 44, Cade Looney, who finished his high school career second on the all-time rebound list for the state, or as we call it here, Commonwealth of Virginia. Emory and Henry is coached by Ben Thompson in his 3rd season, assisted by Rick Thompson, Khalil Shaker, and Matt Spencer. Oh, good, they turned up the lights. I can read again. I put the coaches in like 6-point font so I could squeeze everything on one page. And, well, couldn't read it in the dark there. So this should be an interesting season for the Wasps. We're no longer Division III. We're in a probationary transition period to Division II and playing a schedule of unfamiliar opponents. No more ODAC opponent schedule for Emory and Henry. Set to tip it up for tonight's contest, and the tap goes to the Eagles. Dribbled out front, being guarded man-to-man, is Young. He takes it to the rim, doesn't get anything. Out to Sturgill, swinging around the perimeter on the left-hand wing. That three-point shot is up by Sloan and good. So with the early lead, Alice Lloyd takes it 3-0 over Emory and Henry. Antonelli sets up the Wasps facing man-to-man defense. On the left-hand wing to Morgan. Morgan looks at Looney cutting down low. Looney gets it, works down the low block, makes a move, goes up and under, puts it up, gets it swatted away. Morgan's there for the rebound. He gets it, can't get it to fall. And Alice Lloyd comes away with the rebound. Handoff in the right-hand wing to Sloan. Sloan passes it inside to Sturgill. Sturgill's little baby hook will go. Now Alice Lloyd leads by 5-0, and 1 minute into the first half of action. Antonelli sets up the Wasp, looks for somebody to pass to. High post to Ketron on the left-hand block, elbow. Down low to Antonelli, back out to Ketron. Ketron's a deadly three-point shooter, and he knocks that one down. Emory and Henry now trails 3-5.
I know they want to get him started early.
So Young brings it up. Handoff right-hand wing to Sloan. Sloan goes off the ball screen. Hand over to Sturgill, now left-hand wing to Tolber. Down low again to Sturgill. Sturgill's baby hook this time rolls around, won't fall, and Antonelli comes away with it for the Wasp. Gives it to Ketron in transition. He yanks up another three. That one won't fall. Emory and Henry's Morgan's there for the rebound, dishes it over to Looney, and Looney gets it to fall from the left-hand block. Now Emory knocks it up at 5, 2 minutes into first half action. Sloan being guarded by Antonelli. Antonelli switches back off on Young. Young goes off a ball screen, gets switched off Ketron. Tries to put it up, slings it up off the backboard. Ketron gets the rebound for Emory and Henry, and Antonelli comes in transition, doesn't have anything, pulls out. Finds Looney down low on the left-hand block. He goes up, makes a move, gets it blocked. Gets his own rebound off that stuff. Back to Antonelli on the left-hand wing. 15 on the shot clock on the reset. Antonelli gets it down low to Looney. Looney trying to make a move, being double-teamed. He goes up and around, under and around, and gets it to drop. Emory and Henry enjoys their first lead of the night, 7-5 with 17:23 remaining.
And that's the first one you was talking about.
Yep. So switched at the top to Philpott. He tries to make a move, kicks it out to Sloan on the right-hand wing. Three won't fall, and Morgan comes away with Emory and Henry's rebound. Emory and Henry trying to push the tempo. And as Banks attacks from the right-hand wing, he draws the foul.
And we've seen a lot of hard rebounds from Malcolm Morgan. He actually averaged 4 rebounds last season.
He plays so hard. Emory and Henry with the ball out of bounds on the sideline in a lineup formation, and then just hands it to Antonelli on the step out from the middle of the line. He finds Ketron out top. Now Antonelli dribbles to the left-hand wing, looking for Looney down low. Gives it to Morgan. Morgan with the ball screen with Looney. Skips to Ketron. Now Banks tries to attack, finds Looney down low. He's getting double-teamed every time he gets it down low. Shot clock counting down. Banks is going to have to jack up a shot. Doesn't hit anything. That'll be a shot clock violation, even though Morgan was there for the rebound. It didn't hit anything, and that's a violation there. 16:38, Emory and Henry leads by 2, 7-5. As Young brings it up, being guarded by Morgan, and he just makes a move against Morgan's tight defense at the half-court line and draws a foul. It's not exactly the kind of foul you like to see away from any possible scoring option there.
No.
So Emory and Henry playing half-court man-to-man. And the Eagles inbound it to Young, who will being guarded again by Morgan, goes off a ball screen up top, switches off by Ketron. He skips it way over to Sloan. Sloan takes it on the little runner, hits off the back of the iron and will fall. So the Eagles tie up the Wasp here 7-7 with just over 16 minutes remaining in the first half of action. Antonelli watches Cutters cross on the baseline and hits Morgan as he comes out on the left-hand wing. Ketron sets the ball screen for Morgan. His three is just too strong, and the Eagles come away with the rebound. That's Young taking Antonelli up off the glass to the left and gets it to drop. Now the Eagles lead by 2, 7-9, 15:48 remaining as Looney hits the deck in transition. Looney with the ball screen for Antonelli, slips it, goes down low. We skip it around the perimeter. Banks on the right-hand wing, brings it up, penetrates, gets it inside, dumps it down on the left-hand block. That's a great little penetrate and dish. Finds Looney on the left-hand block. That must be his favorite spot because he's been there all night long as Emory and Henry ties it up at 9 with 15:20 remaining. That's Young, I think. I can't see a mass of substitutes in front of me. They clang it off the iron, and in transition, Antonelli passes a soft one ahead to Malcolm Morgan. Emory and Henry retakes the lead, 11-9. It looks like we're getting a wholesale sub here with 15 minutes in the first half. Young gets by Morgan, gives it to Philpott. He's a little step back three, falls now. Back to lead for the Eagles, 12-11, 14:45 first half action. Antonelli off the ball screen by Ketron. He'll put up the three, and he drains it. 14-12, Emory and Henry regains the lead with 14:30 to play in the first half action.
Antonelli being a 37% shooter from the three.
So Tolber, little two-dribble pull-up, puts his shoulder down, takes a couple of dribbles, elevates, and knocks it down, ties it up. 14-14 with 14:14 to play in the first half. Now Morgan with the ball down low to Ketron. He makes a move against a much smaller defender, and his little baby hook will fall. 16-14, Emory and Henry regains the lead. Young bringing it up, high ball screen. Ketron switches up on it. Young tries to take it in against the much taller Young at 6 feet tall, taken against 6'8" Ketron. Not a good idea, and he gets it swatted away. It'll be Eagles ball out of bounds underneath their basket when we return from timeout. And Brandon, you have your work cut out for you, giving everybody the substitutes when we come back to action.
Got it. Support for WHC and Emory and Henry Wasp basketball comes proudly from Tom Graham and Kyle King of Edward Jones Investments, 126 East Main Street, Marion. Learn what investing can do for you. 276-783-4448 or edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC. And the food specialists bring you quality, price, satisfaction, founded in a small rural area to serve friends and neighbors. Food Country has evolved to serve Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee, locally owned and operated. Your money stays in your community. Food Country is proud to support Emory Henry Wasp basketball on WEAC 90.7 FM.
Well, we've just been 6 minutes into the first half action. Both teams shooting almost 60% from the floor, and that may give you an idea. You know, we have 16 of the 30 points have been in the paint. That maybe explains why the shooting is so hot at this point of the game. You want to give them the substitutions as we return to action here?
I will. We have number 0, Kevin Rodriguez, 6'2", junior.
Just give his name. Yeah, we don't have time for all that.
Jalen Leftwich came in.
All right.
Look.
We'll catch you up here in a second. As they floated around the perimeter, giving it to Sturgill, now down low on the block. He's being double-teamed, and he traveled on that move. In for Emory and Henry is number 32, Gabe Brown, a 6'5" freshman from Clintwood. He was playing defense down low on the block and caused that post player to try to go up and came back down with it. Jalen Leftwich in at point guard for Emory and Henry sets up the offense. Give across to Brown, now down low to, up top to Rodriguez. Rodriguez's shot clock counts down, gets up the 3, draws iron, but Emory and Henry can't get control the rebound as Young comes down with it, set up. Can't see who that is, but he missed it. Number 2, put it up, can't get it to go. And in transition, oh man, great pass ahead by Corey Keene, but we can't get it to fall in transition. Shot up by Philpott, long 3, no good. Rebound, Emory and Henry. That rebound is Corey Keene. And Keene's going to take the 3, glances off the iron, won't fall, and battling for the rebound. It's going to get tied up down low. That's Jake Monahan scrambling on the floor for the loose rebound. We've got 18 seconds on the shot clock. Possession error favors Emory and Henry as the Eagles won the opening tap. 12:37 remaining in the first half action, and Emory and Henry is ahead by 2. Ball out of bounds underneath their basket. Set up in a box set some screens. Ball inbounds to Rodriguez. He gives it back to Keene. Keene feeds it down low to Leftwich. Now back out. Left-hand shot by Monahan, no good from 3, and the Eagles come away with the rebound. Emory and Henry in half-court man-to-man defense. Leftwich guarding up top, the point guard. That's Young. Young hands it off to Cates. Cates' little floater won't fall. Tap, long rebound, tap for and controlled by the Eagles. Young's going to take it in, dump down low. I couldn't see who that was. I think that was Sturgill who went up for it. Who was that foul on?
On Jake
Monahan. I'm guessing that's how we say it. That's his first, team first. And Sturgill will go to the line to shoot 2. First one is way too strong, no good. Emory and Henry is still enjoying a 16-14 lead with 12 minutes remaining in the first half action. You know, I asked our announcer, I got pronunciations for the other team's players, not that I'll get those right. I didn't even think about many of our kids. Our players, second shot is good, so Emory and Henry's lead is sliced to 1. And in for Emory and Henry now, we have number 13, Jake Monahan. Who's that over there in the corner? 32, Gabe Brown. Jalen Leftwich handling the ball. Corey Keene setting a screen up top for him. He tried to find somebody, did a little jump pass, tried to find somebody to pass it to. Went up in the air, didn't have anybody, so responsible for that turnover. I know how you feel. That jump pass, coaches hate it. I loved it when I was a player. I thought it was a good idea. I don't know why Pat Summit didn't think it was a good idea. Nonetheless, we've got another timeout, stoppage of play here with 11:49 remaining in the first half. Emory and Henry is leading 16-15.
So support for WEAC and ENH WASP basketball comes from People Incorporated. Believing that every person needs support from others, People Incorporated promotes the dignity of individuals and families, moves people into the economic mainstream, and works to develop existing strengths and resources within communities for information about assistance with community development, education, employment training, family services, financial services, or housing. Contact 276-623-9000. Again, contact 276-623-9000 or helppeopleinc.net. All of the efforts of People Incorporated are directed by the concerns, hopes, needs, and dreams of the people served.
So we're back into action here as the Eagles will have the ball out in front of their bench, and Emory and Henry with a 1-point lead with just under 12 minutes remaining in the first period. On the floor for Emory and Henry is number 5, Leftwich, Kevin Rodriguez. Leftwich, Keene. Now ball's on the right-hand wing for the Eagles. Trying to make a move and get something going inside is Damon Tobler, but he cannot get anything going and turns the ball out of bounds, turns the ball over out of bounds. Leftwich with the ball going off a ball screen by Monahan, takes it all the way to the rim and gets it to fall. Acrobatic move by Leftwich. So he gets it to fall and gets to go to the free throw line for the old-fashioned three-point play, giving Emory and Henry at this point the 3-point lead. Leftwich will have a chance to extend it to 4, and that one falls and is good. We're picking up point guard pressure full court. Other than that, it's strictly a half-court defense as Warwick's dribbles it in down for the Eagles, gives it to Cates, now to the left-hand wing. That's Tobler, and he gets that one to fall off the glass and go. Emory and Henry now 19-17 lead, 11 minutes remaining in the first half. Leftwich being closely guarded man-to-man, goes off a ball screen by Monahan, kicks it to Keene on the left-hand wing. Keene's three-point shot hits nothing but the bottom of the net and not go through the rim. Emory and Henry now on defense. Down low for the Eagles, now skipped it back out to the left-hand wing. He's getting double-teamed. He gets down to the low block and is able to get it to go in. That's Sumaharo. Now that the score's knotted up again, 19-19, 10.5 minutes remaining, first half action. Leftwich, handoff to Rodriguez. Rodriguez ball screen by Monahan. Loses the handle, picks it up, kicks it over to Keene. Keene to Brown. Brown's three-point shot's too strong. Emory battles for the rebound, but not able to get it, and it gets deflected out of bounds off Emory and Henry in transition for the Eagles. And here comes 5 more substitutes back in for Emory and Henry.
Like starting lineup back in.
So that 5 held their own. That gave you some minutes, held their own. Get to rest your starters. 10 minutes remaining, we're knotted up here as Warwick's being guarded by Antonelli, tries to set up the Eagles offense. Oops. Antonelli tries to tie it up on a pass as Cates curls off some screens at the top of the key. He comes right into Antonelli, and it was just too tempting not to reach for the ball. Antonelli gets called for the foul. That's his first, team's third? For some reason I thought it was just our second. Antonelli playing pressure on Warwick's. Warwick's to the left, right-hand wing to Tobler. And Tobler tries to make a move against Looney and picks up his pivot foot before the ball hits the floor. 19-19, 9:44 remaining in first half action at the Bob Johnson court. Antonelli tries to make an entry pass at the high post to Morgan, and that ball gets kicked out of bounds. That'll be Emory and Henry ball, 24 on the shot clock. Emory and Henry lines up in their sideline inbounds play, hands it to Antonelli. Antonelli goes off a ball screen by Looney, takes it inside, high off the glass, just hits the front of the rim, never makes it to the glass. My mistake. And that Eagles come away with the rebound. Knotted up here, 19 all with 9:24 remaining. Antonelli closely guarding Warwicks. Now the ball's at, who's that, Cates. Cates being double teamed, kicks it out. And all the way to the rim is Sumaharo for 2 to give the Eagles the 2-point lead, 21-19. Banks dribbles left. Emory and Henry sends a cutter on baseline. No, they fake the cut, come back out. Morgan with it on the left-hand wing. Goes off a ball screen by Looney. Tries to find Looney down low. Does. Baby hook by Looney. Rolls and drops. So we're now knotted up again at 21. 8:43 first half action.
Freshman showing out in his first game.
He is. Warwicks brings the ball down, takes it almost to the lane, pulls up, and hits the jumper over Antonelli. 23-21 now, Emory and Henry trails. Antonelli calling up Looney. And as Antonelli tries to go opposite the ball screen by Looney, he draws the foul. Who's that foul on there, Brandon?
Cameron Boris. Cameron Warwicks.
That's the team third foul. I think that's his first. 8:18 remaining. Emory and Henry trails by 2. Catching with the ball out of bounds on the sideline. And Emory sends cutters all around and hands to Antonelli. Ball screen by Looney. Now he passes the right-hand wing to baseline to Banks. Banks dribbles back up top. Catching on the left-hand wing. Now to Antonelli there. Antonelli goes inside, has nothing. Kicks out to Catron. Shot clock coming down. Morgan's going to put it up, and every coach's nightmare, somebody fouls a desperation heave at the shot clock countdown. So Emory and Henry will be going to the free throw line. I assume we're going to shoot 3. I'm not sure. Well, the three-point line has moved back this year, which if you're not watching, it's a good, I forgot to look how far back it is, but it looks like it's about 1.5 foot at least, doesn't it, Brandon? From the old three-point, well, that's not the old three-point line. That's the high school three-point line that's still there. The old three-point line wasn't that far back, but the three-point line has moved back this year for men's and women's college games. So we're at timeout in the first half. We're just under 8 minutes left in this period, and Emory and Henry trails 21-23.
Emory and Henry basketball is brought to you with support by First Bank and Trust, offering mobile banking, Apple Pay, remote deposits, and more, serving you with free checking since 1979. Member FDIC and on the web at firstbank.com.
Alice Lloyd is a member of the River State Conference and plays in the NAI Association of Athletic Competition as well as the NCCAA. So they're a scholarship giving outfit as we have become in our transition period to Division II. So at the free throw line, did they say shooting 3? I don't see a signal. Oh, just shooting 2. So that's Morgan up there for the first one that glances off the front of the rim. He'll get a second here. Lefty puts the ball up, and that one drops through. So Emory and Henry trails by 1, 22-23. Morgan guarding Young as Young for the Eagles brings the ball up. High ball screen being set. He doesn't take it. Ball pitched off to Sloan on the right-hand wing. Now the left-hand shot by, that's Tobler. His 3 won't fall. Emory and Henry comes away with it. Morgan in transition shoots that little scoop hook from the left-hand lane, driving down the left-hand side of the lane. Gets it to fall. Emory and Henry takes the lead. I couldn't see who that was or who fouled him, but somewhere on the left-hand wing, somebody for Alice Lloyd drove, and Micah Banks fouled him. That's Banks' second foul, so he'll come out. Emory and Henry's 4th team foul.
And Brown to sub in.
So Emory and Henry looks like they're playing a zone here on the baseline out of bounds. And Sumahara puts up the long 2 and gets it to fall. So Emory and Henry now trails by 1, and in transition, Antonelli passed ahead to Gabe Brown, and Brown wasn't able to handle it out of bounds. Turnover. Eagles gain possession. Antonelli guarding Sloan up top. Ball to the wing to Sumahara. Is that Sumahara that drove? Yep, yes. He drove it to the rim, gets it to fall, drew the foul.
Both.
So 7:01, Emory and Henry trails by 3. And Sumahara will go to the line shooting 1.
Leftwich coming in for Antonelli.
Antonelli, that's his first foul, team's 5th. And that's Leftwich who entered. I think you probably said that. Well, we can't say it enough. His family may be listening. And that free throw is up and good, so now the Eagles push it to a 4-point lead. I think that's the biggest lead anybody's had the entire game, is it not?
I think so.
So Leftwich working up top, makes a little spin move, kicks off to Morgan. Morgan goes down the lane, rolls it off the rim, won't go, and Looney's right there to clean it up. 6:44, Emory and Henry trails by 2, 26-28. Pass ahead to Tobler. Tobler back over left end wing to Sloan. 3's too long. Looney comes away with the rebound. Leftwich pulls it in transition. Goes, spins in the middle, gives it to Ketron. That's going to be offensive foul. No. Oh, they called a block. Ketron got it. Leftwich went down the right-hand side of the lane, did a little turn, couldn't get anything to go. Here comes Ketron as a cutter, dished it to Ketron. Ketron did a little move, and I thought he shouldered the guy to the floor, but they called a foul on the defense. Ball inbounds to Looney, and he loses possession of it. Turnover for the Wasps. So we've got each team with 5 team fouls with 6 minutes remaining. Leftwich guarding Young up top. Here comes a ball screen. He goes away from it, takes it to the rim, loses it. Emory and Henry's Looney comes up with it, gives it up to Leftwich. Leftwich tries to get inside, goes all the way to the rim and gets it to fall, and Emory and Henry ties it up again, 28-28, just under 6 minutes remaining. And on that, Sloan just lost the handle, passed it to Emory and Henry, and we pass ahead to Malcolm Morgan for 2, and Emory and Henry now enjoys a 2-point lead, just under 6 minutes remaining first half.
Malcolm Morgan.
And Leftwich.
Very smart.
So Young takes it down the left-hand side of the lane. Nobody's going to get a charge tonight. Takes it down, draws the foul, can't get the shot to drop, so he'll shoot 2. That's Morgan's second foul, Emory and Henry's 6th team foul, and that sends Noah Young to the free throw line. Young's first shot is up and good. 5:31 remaining.
Rodriguez coming in for Malcolm, one of the returners. Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rodriguez averaged almost 14 points a game last year, 3.6 rebounds for the Wasps. 5:31 remaining. And we're waiting for the substitutions to cease so we can get back to play here. Noah Young, the lefty, puts up the shot. It rolls around and drops. So, again, we're knotted up. At some point, we'll look and tell you how many lead changes and ties we've had. 5.5 minutes remaining. We're tied now. Leftwich trying to work. Gets the ball knocked away. Now it's battled for, knocked away again, and the Eagles come up with it. Young walks it up for the Eagles. Emory and Henry again in half court, man-to-man. We have a wet spot on the floor, so officials are calling timeout. We have, if I'm not mistaken this year, we have media timeouts. So any stoppage of play after 16 minutes, 12 minutes, 8 minutes, and 4 minutes on the game clock will mean a media timeout. I don't know what that means to how many team timeouts they get. Looks like they get 4. So that's a little bit change as we're making the transition to Division II. 5:08, tied up here, Eagles ball. Ball inbounds to Young. He's being guarded by Leftwich. Ball screen. We double it. He goes all the way down the left-hand lane, lays it high off the glass and gets it to score. That's Young for 2, and the Eagles take the 2-point lead. 4:51, Leftwich working up top. Hands to Brown on the left-hand wing. Brown looks for Looney down low, and as he tried to make the entry pass, it gets taken away by Sloan. Just a little bit change of playing at this level from playing in high school. Cates drives down the left baseline, can't get his shot to fall. Emery and Henry in transition gives it to Looney, who shoots 3, and his won't fall. 4:17 remaining. Emery and Henry trails by 2. Eagles with the ball as Young brings it up, being guarded by Rodriguez. Rodriguez gets over the ball screen. Young goes all the way in, can't get it to fall, but Rodriguez gets called for the foul. So Emery and Henry trails by 2, 4:06 remaining. And the Eagles have the chance to extend the lead here at the free throw line, as Young will get the chance to shoot 2. And there's a reason why he's driving down the left-hand side of the lane. Do you know what that is? He's left-handed. Well, that's one reason why he's so good at it anyway. So he makes that first shot and extends the Eagles' lead to 3. Cade Looney is the leading scorer for Emery and Henry at this juncture, shooting 5 of 8 with 10 points right now, leading all scorers. And Young's second shot's no good. Rebound controlled by Emery and Henry. That's Jacob Morgan with the rebound. The freshman from Grundy. Ketron with the ball up top, hands it off to Leftwich, right-hand wing, waiting on a ball screen by Looney. Goes against the screen, gives it up to Looney at the elbow. Looney tries to get something, loses the handle. Ketron makes a little shot fake, one dribble pull up. Ketron can't get it to fall. Battling for the rebound is Morgan. He can't get it. There's bodies on the floor as the play goes on, and the ball gets stripped away by Leftwich, who takes it in for Emery and Henry and goes off the glass. And now we're going to have a stoppage of play as Kate Looney is shaken up on the play. 3:30 remaining. Emery and Henry trails by 1. As I said, Looney's leading all scorers with 10 points. And Ben Sumahara for the Eagles, shooting 4 of 5 from the field, has 9 points for the Eagles. You know, I mentioned earlier both teams were shooting about 60%. Well, the Eagles are still shooting 57% from the floor. Emery and Henry's cooled off to 48%, and yet still within 1 of the Eagles. Emery and Henry enjoying a 4-rebound advantage, 15-11 over the Eagles as well.
And as a coach, wouldn't you say rebounds win you the game and points in the paint?
Well, we're leading the points in the paint too. Is that why you mentioned that, Brandon? We got an 8-point margin of enjoyment in the points in the paint as well. Yeah, it depends on who you ask. What's the old saying about defense and rebound? Defense wins championships or whatever. Well, I don't know. We'll see. So Eagles ball after all that action with people sprawled on the floor there. 3:29 remaining. Emery and Henry trails by 1 as Leftwich is picking up pressure at the top, and the point guard, Frazier, Tried to make a pass on the right-hand wing to Sumahara, and it just almost came over here to us at the scorer's table. Emory and Henry sets up Ketron with the ball at the top, looking for cutters as they curl around. Looks for a backdoor cut by Leftwich, didn't have it. Now Keene with the ball at the elbow, gives it to Ketron. Finds Keene's short corner. Keene's little jumper won't go. Rebound battled for by Morgan. Morgan can't get it, and Alice Lloyd's Frazier comes away with it. Up top to Sloan, now right-hand wing. Looks for some cutting action. Top to Philpott, down low to Sturgill. Back out top. Sumahara just going to drive, and he gets called for the travel as he tried to take it left wing, right rim, right side of the rim. 2:42 remaining. Emory and Henry trails 32-33 with a chance to take the lead on this possession as the freshman point guard, Leftwich, sets up the offense. Ball screen up top by Morgan, back to Leftwich. Leftwich can't get it to fall. Ketron's there to clean it up as he tries to put it up from the left-hand block to stick that back. He's going to draw the foul. Leftwich is a 6'4" freshman from Lynchburg, Virginia, from Liberty Christian Academy. And Ketron, the 6'8" junior from Chilhowie, is at the free throw line with the chance to give Emory and Henry the lead. Ketron's first shot is too strong, bangs off the back of the rim, but he'll get a second one at it. 2:25 remaining, 32-33, Emory and Henry, and that's 2:25 remaining in the first half of action. Ketron's second shot is good. So we're knotted up again, 33-33. Under 2.5 to play in the first half. Leftwich playing defense on Frazier as he brings the ball down. Horn set by the Eagles, down low to Sturgill. Sturgill kicks it back up to the elbow to Philpott. He can't get it to fall, but the stick, or did that one fall or did somebody stick it back in? Could you see? So stick back. It looked like too high, and then somebody stood in front of me and I couldn't see. Emory and Henry working on the perimeter, back up top to Leftwich. Leftwich, ball screen, doesn't take it, but takes it to the rim and gets it to finish. Quick first move and gets around the defender. Now in transition, Sloan gives it down low to Sturgill, and they come back quickly, and now the Eagles with the 2-point lead. Under a minute and a half remaining. Emory trails by 2. Leftwich calling out the offense for Ketron to come up. He slips it. Now to Morgan on the right-hand, no, that's Rodriguez, right-hand wing. His three won't go. Ketron's there for the rebound, but when he tried to put it back up, it gets stripped. He brought it down too low. Oh, he walked. And that was Sumahara. Tried to make a move as he caught the ball on the baseline. It was a good fake because it was a travel. So 1:16, Emory and Henry trails by 2, 35-37. As Coach Thompson is instructing his offense what play he wants them to run. Leftwich brings it up. Ketron setting a ball screen. Leftwich gives it to Ketron just below the elbow, and Ketron again gets it stripped because he brought it down too low. And that was Sturgill who took it up in transition and scored, and now Emory and Henry under 1 minute trails by 4. Leftwich up top. Again, half-court man-to-man by Alice Lloyd. Calls up 2 high posts. 2 players on the wing. Morgan with it on the right-hand wing. Looks to go off the ball screen, gives it to Keene at the top. He takes it left, tries to go down low. Oh, he faces up and gets it swatted away by Philpott. And now under 25 seconds left, Emory and Henry down by 4, and the Eagles with a chance to spread that lead before the horn sounds for halftime. They're playing a 1-4 low. Now they call up a post player to set a ball screen. That's Young with the ball up top and Sturgill with the ball screen. Young comes off of it, gives it to Sturgill on the step back. His 3 glances off the front of the rim. 3 seconds remaining. We heave up a shot, and it won't fall. And Emory and Henry, just like that, takes off for the locker room. So at the end of the first half of action, Emory and Henry, in their opening game of the season, trails the 2-0 Eagles of Alice Lloyd, 35-33. 39. We'll send it back to the studio, and then we'll come back before second half action begins to give you a recap of the stats from the first half of play. So back to you, Anthony, in the studio, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
And just as a coach been saying a lot tonight, Noah Young, 7 points, 2 for 3 shooting, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. And
well, he's that lefty that's driven down the left-hand side of the lane and keeps drawing the fouls. He's been to the free throw line more than anybody. It's been a pretty clean game. You know, we've only shot 5 free throws. They've shot 7. So in 20 minutes of action, that's a pretty clean first half. Looking at some team statistics, as we pointed out earlier in the broadcast, both teams started out pretty hot, shooting close to 60%. The Eagles have stayed there. They're 57% from the floor. Emory and Henry at 44%. Both teams only made 2 threes in that first half of action. And as I said earlier, Alice Lloyd shot 7 free throws, made 5. Emory and Henry shot 5, made 3. Pretty clean game as far as turnovers go. 9 for the Eagles, 8 for the Wasps. And points off turnovers, 10 for Emory and Henry, 9 for the Eagles. What makes up a little bit for Emory and Henry's lower shooting percentage is the fact that they own a 4-point advantage in rebounds, 18-14 over the Eagles, and also 26-22 points in the paint. Emory and Henry enjoys 10 fast break points to just 4 of the Eagles. So, and you and I were looking at, Brandon, the play-by-play. The largest lead was 5 at the early portion of the game when the Eagles led 5-0. And then Emory and Henry's largest lead has been 4. And then again, of course, at halftime, the Eagles lead by 4. So it's been a back-and-forth game. We couldn't figure out how many lead changes or ties there were. We could have maybe spent the entire halftime counting that up. And if it's somewhere here in the statistics, it is hidden from view from the announcers of this game. So we're getting ready to start second half action. If my memory is correct, it's the Eagles' ball first. They won the tap. We had 1 tied ball in the first half, and it should be the Eagles' ball to enter the second half of play. So on the floor for Emory and Henry is 3 Banks, 2 Antonelli, 4 Morgan, 44 Looney, and 42 Catron, the starters from tonight's action. And for the Eagles, I can't see because Coach Thompson's standing in front of me, but I think it's their starters as well. So Young, the lefty, being guarded by Morgan, who's forcing him to go right, skips it over to the right-hand wing to Tobler. It's tipped away and off by defense by Morgan. It goes off of Sloan. And now the other official's going to come in here and say, no, it wasn't. So now they're going to have a group discussion. And Emory and Henry lost on that group discussion. So Tobler with the ball out of bounds in front of the Eagles bench. 16 on the shot clock. No score yet here in the second half as they skip it across the court to Sloan. And he skips it back across here to Young. Now they give it down low to Tobler, who drives the baseline, kicks it out to Sloan on the right-hand wing. His 3 won't fall. Long rebound controlled by the Eagles. Sloan with the ball gives it to Tobler at the top. Left-handed 3 falls for the big guy. Damon Tobler, 6'4", from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, gets it to fall, and its largest lead of the game is 7 by the Eagles. Looney with the ball on the right-hand wing for Emory and Henry. Dribbles up, tries to get it back to Morgan at the top. Kicks it to Ketron on the left-hand wing. Looks for Looney cutting down low. He gets it short corner, tries to make a move. Can't get one, so just shoots over the defender. It's too strong. Emory and Henry's there for the rebound. Kicks it out to Antonelli. Reset the shot clock to 20. Antonelli off the ball screen and hits Ketron on the step back, and that's 3 for Ketron. Emory and Henry cuts the lead back to 4. You know, Ketron's such a hard matchup problem for people, you know, because he's 6'8", and his favorite shot is the three-point shot, and maybe his best shot as well. The Eagles try to penetrate left-hand wing lane as Young, the lefty. He gives it to the high post. It gets punched away and kicked out to Antonelli in transition. He lays it in and good, and Emory and Henry slices the lead to 2. and just under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Coach Thompson's trying to get the fans in the game because, quite frankly, we didn't have any last year. We had some cardboard cutout people sitting over there. Take advantage. Young with the ball up top. Dribbles right, tries to come back left, kicks it over in the left-hand wing to Sloan. Sloan penetrates, kicks it out. It gets tipped away, controlled, back to Sloan. 3 by Sloan is good. So the lead now goes back to 5. 17-46, Emory and Henry trails 40-45. Antonelli calls out the offense going against man-to-man defense. Antonelli on the step back 3 behind the screen of Katrin. And my teammate here on the broadcast is making all sorts of hand gestures as Emory and Henry slices the lead to 2. Short corner, Alice Lloyd, I can't see who that is, but he tries to drive the right baseline. Ketron ends up with the ball, but he's standing with a foot on the line or out of bounds, and so it will be Eagles ball underneath their basket. 18 seconds on the shot clock, and they lead by 2. Ball inbounds, gives it back to Young. Tapped away by Antonelli. Antonelli in transition gets to the middle of the floor, looks for somebody, kicks it out. Now it gets knocked away and stolen by Philpott for the Eagles. Sloan takes it down, dumps it to the left-hand block to Sturgill, and Sturgill is able to knock it down from there and extend the lead to 4. Antonelli, ball screen by Ketron up top. Now to Banks on the right wing. Banks makes a move, gets inside, kicks it back to Antonelli. Antonelli fakes like he's going to shoot, now sets up the offense. 12 on the shot clock. Ketron up top, comes up for the ball screen. Antonelli looks to go, pull up, jumper no good. Looney's there for the stick back and draws the foul. Cade Looney, 6'8", 220, freshman from Grundy, gives Emory and Henry a chance to slice the lead to 1, 16:28 remaining, and Emory and Henry trailing by 2 as Looney will get to go to the free throw line.
And he's showing you why he's a 3-time district player of the year.
Well, 3-time All-State player as well. And that one's strong, but there's going to be a lane violation on somebody must be for Emory and Henry because they're not going to shoot it again. 16:28, Emory and Henry trails by 2, and now they're picking up a little more full court pressure, just individual man-to-man as Banks picks up Young, who's bringing the ball down. Young hands off to Sloan. Sloan being guarded by Antonelli, kicks it over to Tobler. Tobler takes the long 2 and drains it over Dylan Ketron's outstretched arms. So now the lead is 4 by the Eagles. Antonelli, left-hand wing, brings it back to the center, penetrates, looks for a cutter. Oh, that's a great look to Morgan, and Morgan got it swatted away. Antonelli penetrated, pulled up, gave a little bounce pass to the cutter, couldn't get it to go. And speaking of get it to go, that long 3 by Alice Lloyd's no good. Morgan's going to knock down the 3 for Emory and Henry. So now Emory and Henry's deficit is just 1, 15.5 to play, second half of action, and the crowd is helping the Wasps on defense as Morgan bats it away, and it goes out of bounds. And is that going to be Emory and Henry's ball? I couldn't tell.
That's the Eagles' ball.
Okay, so Malcolm Morgan bats it away, but it goes out of bounds off of him. So the Eagles will have the ball when we return from this media timeout as Emory and Henry trails by 1.
Support for WEHC and Emory Henry Wasp basketball comes proudly from Tom Graham and Kyle King of Edward Jones Investments, 126 East Main Street, Marion. Learn what investing can do for you. 276-783-4448 or edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC. The Food Specialist, bringing you quality, price, satisfaction, founded in a small rural area to serve friends and neighbors. Food Country has evolved to serve Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee. Locally owned and operated, your money stays in your community. Food Country is proud to support Emory and Henry Wallace basketball on WEAC 90.7 FM.
So Emory and Henry got it to within one. Tied it up with about 2 minutes left in the first half. And then with about 30 seconds gone in the second half, Alice Lloyd extended their 4-point halftime lead to 7, and now Emory and Henry have sliced it to 1 in just 4.5 minutes of play here in the second half. The Eagles will have the ball out of bounds on the sideline next to the students section, which would be a good time for them to wake up. As Young has the ball out of bounds, looking to get it in bounds to Sloan. Sloan steps out, takes it, being guarded by Antonelli, gets double teamed, takes it inside. Ooh, that looked like a travel, but not. He kicks it out. Now to Young on the right-hand wing. Surprise, he goes left. That step back by Tobler's no good. Rebound down low by Philpott, and there's a whistle on the play. So it's going to be on the floor, not on the shot. So the Eagles will have the ball underneath their basket on the reset, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Emory and Henry, they're playing man-to-man still. As Young with the ball up top, kicks it over right-hand wing to Sloan. Cutter comes through the lane. They don't get it to him. Now back to Sloan on the right-hand wing. Back up top to Young. Young goes left, high off the glass, won't fall. Stick back is there. Second stick back is good by Philpott. He missed the first one, makes the second one, and now it's a 3-point deficit for the Wasps. Banks with the ball up top. It looks like Alice Lloyd's playing a 2-3 zone here. Ketron with the ball on the right-hand wing against that zone, can't get it to drop. And the Eagles come away with it. That's Sloan with it on the left-hand wing, back up top to Young. Young calls for the ball screen by Philpott, goes off. Now kicks right-hand wing to Tobler. Tobler back to Young. 15 on shot clock. Down low to Philpott. Philpott's little jump hook's good. So now Emory and Henry back to a 5-point deficit, 14 minutes to play against this 2-3 zone. Looney comes up, sets a ball screen for Antonelli. He gets it inside the zone, kicks it out to Banks, right-hand wing. Now it skips over to Morgan, left-hand wing. He gets inside the zone. We're skipping around the perimeter. Banks puts up the three. It's not going to be any good. Rebound, Looney, or is that Ketron?
Morgan.
Oh, Morgan was there. We'll have to apologize to you because usually there's 1, 2, and maybe 3 people standing between us, a coach or 2 and a referee between us and the action at the low block on this offensive end, so we don't always see what happened right then. So with that 2-point basket, Morgan slices the deficit to 3 for Emory and Henry, and the lefty has a chance to make it a 2-point lead, and he does, or a 2-point deficit. So 13:48 remaining, and Emory and Henry trails 51-53.
Number 5, Leftwich, comes in for Morgan. Morgan shooting 5 for 9, 6 rebounds and 13 points.
Whew. And Cates comes in for the Eagles. So Leftwich playing defense on Young. Maybe his little bit added length will throw Young off. Step back 3 is no good. Long rebound battled for, and it's going to be out of bounds off the Eagles as Antonelli was battling 2 Alice Lloyd players to try to control that long rebound. I have no idea who shot that. I'll just be honest with our listeners. Sumahara with the ball gives it over to the left-hand wing to Young. Young drives left. What a surprise. And up it goes and in. Emory and Henry comes back now in offense against the 2-3 zone. Banks, left-hand wing, up top to Leftwich. Leftwich back to Banks. Antonelli at top gets it to Looney at the high post. I love the high post against the 2-3 zone. Antonelli's 3 is too strong. Rebound by the Eagles. That's Sumahara. He gives it up to Young. Young comes in transition. Goes left. And he was a little out of control, which drew our defense out of control as well. So Leftwich picks up his first foul, team second of this half. trailing by 4, 51-55, just under 13 minutes to play in the game. Emory and Henry on defense. Holding up top is Young, goes off a ball screen to the right. Kicks to the short corner to Philpott. His shot's too strong. Antonelli battles for the rebound with Cates, and it goes out of bounds off of Cates. Emory and Henry with the ball.
Antonelli, the triple-double guy.
That's right. The other night in the, the other night against Radford, Antonelli with 14 points, 6 of 9 shooting, 4 assists. Antonelli sets up the offense now against the zone. And Jacob Morgan came in for Emory and Henry. He has the ball in the corner, gets trapped, gets it out to at the top to Leftwich. Back to Morgan. Morgan's three is too strong. Rebound banged around, and the Eagles come away with it. Antonelli tries to strip it away from Warwick's, but the Eagles are able. There's 2 Eagles and 1 Antonelli. One Wasp there. They come away with it. Antonelli pressuring on defense. Now Emory and Henry hounding the ball handler. He tries to get past Antonelli and loses the ball out of control, and they're giving it to him.
That's crazy.
I don't see how that's possible, and neither does Coach Thompson. It went out of bounds off of the ball handler. So the officials are going to, are explaining to Coach Thompson why it's not our ball, I think. So what's going on here?
Support for WEHC and ENH WASP basketball comes from People Incorporated. Believing that every person needs support from others, People Incorporated promotes the dignity of individuals and families, moves people into the economic mainstream, and works to develop existing strengths and resources within communities. For information about assistance with community development, education, employment training, family services, financial services, or housing, contact 276-623-9000 or peopleinc.net. All of the efforts of People Incorporated are directed by the concerns, hopes, needs, and dreams of the people served.
So as we come back from timeout, we're 11:59 remaining in the game. Emory and Henry trails by 4. And on a call that I don't agree with, but then again, I'm sitting quite a distance from where the play took place. The Eagles will have the ball underneath their basket with 8 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Emory and Henry will pick up, they playing a zone or a man. We'll see here in about 1 second. Yep, playing a 2-3 zone on the inbounds. Sumahara with the ball gets trapped at the baseline. Now he kicks it up to the elbow to Caudill, and Caudill's able to knock that down. Now 6-point lead for the Eagles as Emory and Henry sets up offense against their 2-3 zone. Antonelli goes off a couple of screens at the top, now kicks it back left-hand wing to Morgan. Morgan, his shot's up too strong, and a couple of Eagles are there, but Cates comes away with the rebound. Emory and Henry trails by 6, 11.5 minutes remaining. Cates, shot fake, drives down low, puts it up off, no good. Rebound, stick back, no good. Tip around, kicked out to Rorick's at the top. His one dribble pull up off the backboard, falls, and now the largest lead of the evening for Alice Lloyd is 8. Again, 2-3 zone. Cade Looney comes up, ball screen for Antonelli, kicks it over to Kedron outside. Now Leftwich penetrates, right-hand baseline, kicks it to Looney at the left-hand block, and Emory and Henry slices it to 53-59 as 10:46 is remaining on the clock.
Emory and Henry basketball is brought to you with support by First Bank and Trust, offering mobile banking, Apple Pay, remote deposits, and more. Serving you with free checking since 1979. Member FDIC and on the web at firstbank.com.
So we're back. We're at timeout now, and again, Emory and Henry trails by 6. Just under 11 minutes remaining in this game, and we've seen some freshmen playing some important minutes for Emory and Henry. Jalen Leftwich is 4 of 5 from the floor, 1 of 1 from the free throw line with 4 rebounds and 9 points for Emory and Henry, and he played predominantly a point guard role in the first half, as did Antonelli, and now they're both on the floor at the same time. I always enjoyed when I had versatility to play, when I was coaching, to play 2 point guards at the same time, because your point guard's typically your best passer, but they have a hard time making an entry pass to a post player because they're usually at the top of the offense. And when you have 2 point guards out there who are excellent passers or create things for other people, it just gives you, I just think it enhances your offensive options. So we turn to action. The Eagles with the ball, being guarded man-to-man Warwicks by Antonelli for Emory and Henry as he tries to get past him, dribbling between his legs. Now it's tapped away by Antonelli, and now it's going to be it's going to be the Eagles' ball out of bounds here in front of the scorer's table. 16 on the shot clock, and again, Emory and Henry trails by 6, 53-59. And Cates will take it out for the Eagles, being guarded by Antonelli. Ball to Young up top, being guarded by Leftwich, the freshman. Short corner. Now they try to feed it from the short corner to the high post. It's batted around like a pinball, and that shot in transition won't go, and neither will the stick back, and out with it comes Sumaharo, being guarded by Antonelli. He tries to, nope, he dumps it off, and in transition, Tobler gets it to fall, and now Emory and Henry trails by 8, largest deficit of the game. Antonelli sets up the offense. The Eagles have switched back to man-to-man. I'm not sure why, because we weren't that successful against the zone. Ball by Rodriguez on the right-hand wing, and as he penetrates, he draws a foul on the help defender as he tried to slice past his defender, and Tobler was guarding a man on the baseline. He reached in and gets called for the foul. That's his second, team third. Leftwich with the ball out of bounds underneath Emory and Henry's basket. He's going to find somebody to get it to, and lofts it back to Looney from the low block. Leftwich back with the ball up top, crossover. Hand off to Rodriguez. That won't fall, but Morgan is there for the stick back. And what did they call? Oh, Cade Looney gets called for the push-off. Cade Looney for the push-off on the offensive foul. 53-61, Emory and Henry trails by 8. 9:33 remaining in the game. Young brings it up against Leftwich, gets past him, now penetrates to the left baseline. That shot strong, and Morgan comes away with it. Antonelli in transition on the left-hand wing, picks up his dribble, gives it over to Morgan on the baseline. Antonelli calling the offense up. Here comes Looney for the ball screen. Tries to find him as he rolls, can't get it there. Rodriguez hands off to Leftwich, looks inside at Looney. Now back to Rodriguez, gets it to Looney at the short corner. He gets doubled, back out to Rodriguez. Rodriguez gets it to a slicing Leftwich, who kicks it out to Antonelli as the shot clock is winding down. The rebound bangs around and comes out, but there's a foul on Antonelli on the three-point shot. So Tobler, that's his third foul, team's fourth foul, and that'll send Antonelli to the line for 3 shots, I'm pretty sure, because he was practically out of bounds when he shot it. The first one's no good.
And then after this free throw, both teams would have shot the same amount of free throws.
53-61, Emory and Henry trails by 8. 8:50 remaining in this game. So it must be a 2-shot then, because he just got 2 shots. 54-61, Emory and Henry trails, picking up pressure, full court man to man. As Young brings it, guarded by Leftwich, drives down, kicks it over to the corner, and then back out to him at the top. 15 seconds on the shot clock. He hands it off to Sumahara. Sumahara drives down the lane, guarded by Rodriguez. It's long, and Antonelli comes away with the rebound. Passes ahead to Rodriguez. Rodriguez takes it in, and he gets it smacked back by Sturgill. That'll be Emory and Henry's ball underneath their basket. 8:21 remaining, 54-61. Wasps trail the Eagles. Inbound to Ketron on the low block, handoff to Antonelli as he comes back in. His spin move's no good, and he loses the handle. But Emory and Henry and all that comes up with it. Morgan back out to Antonelli, has plenty of time to set. It's almost too much time to think about it. And the 3 won't fall, and the rebound goes to the Eagles. Young, guarded by Antonelli, who just cuts him off going left, because that's where he's going. He dribbles everybody through, goes left, kicks out to Sturgill. Sturgill's shot is long, rebound battled for. Rodriguez comes away with it. He's in transition, 2-on-1. He takes it, scores it. 7:38, Emory and Henry now trails 5, 56-61. We need to get the crowd going here on defense, as Young has it up top, guarded by Rodriguez. Now down low to Sumahara, who's working against Antonelli. Double team comes. He draws the foul. The shot won't fall. So media timeout here with 7:22 remaining. Emory and Henry trails 56-61, and Eagles will be shooting free throws when we come back from this media timeout. So, Brandon, what do you see here in the stats or anything that sticks out?
I think what sticks out to me is Tolbert on the Eagles started heating up the start of the second half with 13, shooting 6 for 8. And then Mr. Rodriguez struggled for a microwave tonight, 1 for 5, only 2 points. But Malcolm Morgan stuffing up the stat sheet, 13 points, 6 rebounds.
Yeah, I thought the Eagles' zone defense was effective against us. I'm not sure why they quit running it, because we got the threes, we got the looks maybe, but we weren't making them. But anyway, they've gone back to man-to-man, so that's fine by me, because we get a chance to try to get the ball to Looney inside or to penetrate and then create something. Like I said earlier, when you have 2 point guards on the floor, you have better vision and better creativity. But on the floor, coming out of timeout for Emory and Henry, that's 0 is Rodriguez, 2 is Antonelli, 4 is Morgan, 5 is Leftwich, and 42 is Ketron. So Sumahara will go to the free throw line for Alice Lloyd to shoot 2, as he did not make it the field goal. First shot's up and good. So Alice Lloyd played their 2 games. They played against Campbellsville University and won 71-66. Tobler with 16 points and 11 rebounds. And they won against Berea by 19. Second shot is up and good. And Philpott with 22 points, 17 in the second half, and 12 rebounds. So 2 players with double-doubles that aren't having them here tonight. That's Antonelli creating on the baseline. Now Leftwich with the ball up top. 15 on the shot clock. It looks like they're playing zone again. We take it to the rim, don't have it. Ketron's there for the stick back, and he can't get it to fall. Too strong. 6:58. Emory and Henry trails 56-63. And that's Young bringing it, going left. Kicks out to Sloan. Sloan's 3 is good. He nails it. And at this point, I think the difference in the game is the 2-game experience that Alice Lloyd has under their belt this season. Yeah. Emory and Henry played an exhibition, as we said, at Radford where Antonelli had 14 points, Malcolm Morgan with 11, with 4 steals, and Rodriguez came off the bench for 19 points and 7 rebounds. But, you know, they've played real live games against real live competition on their real live level. And, you know, when you play an exhibition game against a D1 opponent, you're trying, you know, whether you say it or not, you're really trying to learn some stuff and come away with some moral victories, because you know you're not likely to win. They didn't pay you to come up there to win, you know. So, and that seems to be, you know, that like that last 3-point shot that Alice Lloyd made. That's just being comfortable, you know. Sloan just being comfortable in a game situation this early in the season. So we're coming back from timeout. This was a real timeout that Coach called, and Emory and Henry's largest deficit of the night by 10 points, 6:45 remaining in the game, and Emory and Henry on offense. Antonelli brings it down to Banks on the right-hand wing. Finds Antonelli in the right-hand corner, gets it to Ketron at the high post. He gives it to Looney down low, and Looney's shot gets swatted away. He probably didn't have that happen too many times last year or any year playing in high school. And just like that, Sumahara pulls up at the elbow and stretches the lead to 12.
And he has 11 now.
Man-to-man defense by Alice Lloyd, I think. Looney with the ball on the left-hand block. He kicks it out. Morgan's three's long. Rebound controlled by Philpott of the Eagles. In transition, pass ahead to Sturgill. He kicks it over to cross-court pass. Now it's back up at the top. Young goes right. That's a first. He catches it high off the glass on the right-hand side and doesn't finish. And out with it comes Banks for Emory and Henry. He tries to take it, does, and lays it in, and good. And Emory and Henry ends the drought, but still trails by 10. 5.5 to play, 58-68. Sloan with the ball, hands off to Sumahara on the right-hand wing, being guarded by Banks. Goes off the ball screen. The screener hits the deck. Now he dribbles around, 15 on the shot clock. He takes it up and draws the foul on Looney. I think Looney just put his hand on him. I don't think he fouled on the shot part of it. I think when he was trying to take him inside, he just got him with his body or arm bar. 5:13 remaining, 58-68, as Sumahara goes to the free throw line for the Eagles. And Emory and Henry's just, you know, gone cold. They're 5 of 22 from the three-point line. So, you know, we've got 10 more looks at the three than they have. They're 5 of 12, but we're cold. And that first shot by Sumahara is no good. We can light it up a little bit from somewhere. It'll help us come back in this game. Second shot, no good. Rebound controlled by Ketron. Gets it out to Banks. Hands it off, passes ahead to Morgan. Morgan looks to penetrate, can't. Passes back out to Antonelli. 5 minutes remaining. Emory and Henry trails by 10. Looks at Ketron down low. Now Looney's at the high post. We're passing around the perimeter. Now we get it to Ketron at the short corner on the left-hand side of the floor, and his shot glances off the rim too strong. The Eagles come away with it. We've just gone cold here. Young with the ball, being guarded by Morgan. Oh, that's an offensive foul. Ball down to Sumahara. He takes Antonelli down low, knocks him to the floor, misses the shot, gets it back, and now Emory and Henry gets called for the foul. Who's that foul on, Brandon? Who's that on? I think it's on Cade Looney. That's his third. Team sixth. So that'll be Sumahara shooting 2, and Emory and Henry trailing by 10, 58-68, with 4:36 remaining in this ball game, and he misses the first one. Emory and Henry has just gone cold on offense.
I think that's the reason why they went zone. Let them shoot.
Yeah. Well, and also it changes your offensive flow so much that people have a tendency to stand around and think, well, you're standing there on defense, I'll stand here and watch you. Antonelli brings it down off a ball screen by Ketron up top. Pass to the right-hand wing, now back. Cade Looney at the short corner. He gives it back up to Morgan. Morgan takes it inside, skips it to Banks. Banks three's on the way, and finally we hit a three. 61-69, 4:13 remaining. And Coach Thompson's trying to get the fans going as Young gets past Morgan, lays it off strong. It bounces around, no good. That was an ill-advised shot, and I'm glad he took it. Banks with the ball going in. Off the rim, no good. Looney's there for the stick back, and you can see some of the King Center excitement returning to action here. It's nice to have the students back. 63-69, 3:45. Emory and Henry trails by 6. Alice Lloyd with the ball. Sumaharo, handoff to Young up top. 15 on the shot clock. Back to Sumaharo. Sumaharo makes a move on Banks, takes it all the way in on the right-hand side and finishes against Looney. Looney with 3 fouls. Oh, no. In transition, Antonelli passes ahead, kind of a little cross-court transition pass to Banks, and Banks wasn't ready for it, and out of bounds it goes in the section of the bleachers where the cheerleaders would be sitting if they were sitting. So with 3:22 remaining, Emory and Henry trails by 8, 63-71. Emory and Henry with 6 team fouls, 1 timeout remaining. Alice Lloyd with 4 team fouls, 3 timeouts remaining. And we are past the point of any more media timeouts. So what you got is what you got, right? So Coach Thompson is holding a service, I think, over there in the timeout. What do you think is going on over there, Brandon?
I think he's telling them, hey, you got to take care of the ball in these last 3 minutes. Take care of the ball and play hard defense.
Exactly. So the Eagles will have the ball in the backcourt. 3:22 remaining. 63-71. On the floor for Emory and Henry. 44 Looney, the freshman from Grundy. 42, Ketron, the junior from Chilhowie. Banks, number 3. Antonelli, number 2. And Morgan, number 4. For Alice Lloyd, 23, Sturgill. 2, Sumaharo. He's been a catalyst as of late with 14.6 rebounds. 14, Philpott. 12, the lefty, Young. And number 5, Bryce Sloan. So Young being guarded by Morgan now. Maybe Morgan's athleticism and length can slow him down a little bit. He gives it up to Sloan. Sloan brings it up to the top, guarded by Antonelli. Now it's back to Young. 13 on the shot clock, and they're dribbling around at the half-court line. Ball screen by Sturgill. Of course, Young's not going to take it. He goes left. Ball gets back tapped by Morgan, and again, it's going to be out of bounds, favoring the Eagles. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Let's see what Emory and Henry does here defensively. They set up in man-to-man, it looks like. Ball inbounds now, hand it back up to Young. Now back up top. That three-point heave by Sturgill, and Alice Lloyd goes for it, and they end up getting it. Emory and Henry, the long rebound, they look like they just thought, oh, well, we're going to get it. There wasn't enough effort there. I can hear the moans by the coaches on the bench at the lack of effort. So now the Eagles get another possession out of that. And Emory and Henry trails by 8. And maybe in a little bit of frustration, Antonelli boots that one on the as he tries to inbound it, and it hits up near the brick wall on the side of the bleachers. Inbounds pass down low to Sumaharo. He kicks it back out. Driving the baseline. It's picked off by Antonelli. Antonelli takes it going about 100 miles an hour, and a nice little tiny bank shot on that one gets it to finish. Emory and Henry slices it to 6. 2:26 remaining, 65-71 as Young dribbles around up top, being guarded by Morgan. Now to the left-hand wing, now back to Young. 12 on the shot clock. Ball screen, Young dribbles in, tries to find somebody to hand it off to. He almost loses it, and they're going to call timeout because they're losing possession. So Young was on the floor. He had a knee on the floor. Looney was there trying to tie him up, Antonelli, and they called timeout. So 2:07 remaining. The Eagles will retain possession as Emory and Henry trail 65-71, but they're going to have 2 seconds on the shot clock. I assume, and I would be interested to see, but I assume where the tie-up took place, they'll have the ball on the sideline. And the sideline in front of the Emory and Henry fans, it'd be a good time for them to come to life, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Great time.
No, they're giving it to them over here. It happened over there. That doesn't make any sense to me. I know a couple years ago they changed the rules where there's only certain places where you get it, so you don't ever get it but nonetheless, 2 seconds. Young's going to heave up the shot. We do not foul him. It's a shot clock violation, which is good because the rebound was so strong. I'm not sure what would have happened with it. 2:04 remaining. Emory and Henry trails by 6, and Emory and Henry with the ball. Antonelli picks it up as they dribble it, as it rolls down the floor. Man-to-man defense. Antonelli takes it in, pulls it up, finds Looney. Perfect penetrate and pitch by Antonelli and Looney. And Emory and Henry now trails 4, 67-71, 147 remaining. Full court pressure here. Ball inbounds to Sloan as he brings it up, and Antonelli tries to take it away from him, but it goes out of bounds off of Antonelli. 138 remaining, 67-71. Great pressure here. Emory and Henry picking up man-to-man. Let's see if they try to jump and press and trap anybody. Pass ahead to Sumaharo. He picks it up. 20 on the shot clock. He's being guarded by Banks. Now Sloan comes up and gives it back to Sumaharo. Sumaharo guarded by Banks man-to-man. Ball screen picked up by Looney on the switch. Takes it inside, it won't fall, and out of bounds off of the Eagles. Emory and Henry gets a possession here, gets a stop. Or gets a stop, now they get the possession. It's one or the other, right, Brandon? 1:18 remaining, trailing by 4, 67-71. Emory and Henry inbounds the ball, rolls it down the court for Antonelli, so we don't use up any precious time. He picks it up, being guarded man-to-man here. Looney with the ball screen. Now to Banks on the left-hand wing. Being guarded, Antonelli takes it, pulls it back out. Now he takes it, pulls it back out, gives it to Looney. Looney's three, bangs off, no good, rebound. 1 minute remaining, and the Eagles have it. Emory and Henry trails by 4. Coach is telling them to pick it up. Sumaharo with the ball in transition. Being guarded by Antonelli. Ball screen, up. Antonelli gets over it. Great defense there, Antonelli. Sumaharo, 12 on the shot clock. Antonelli bats it away, and it's out of bounds. It's going to be Emory and Henry possession underneath their basket. Man, great defense by Antonelli and by Morgan to get down there and dive for the ball. It goes off the Eagles. 38 seconds remaining. 1 timeout remaining for Emory and Henry, 2 for the Eagles. Sub comes in. Here comes big Damon Tobler, the 6'4" guard from Philadelphia. Emory and Henry, 38 seconds remaining, down by 4, 67-71, 1 timeout remaining, and the possession arrow favors Emory and Henry. Ball inbounds to Looney. Looney working against Sturgill down low. Looney can't get anything, picks it up. It's going to be 3 seconds. He didn't get out of the lane. He picked it up. He looked for somebody to pitch it. He wasn't far enough low to make a move. He was not. He was just below the free throw line. And Emory and Henry taking. Emory and Henry's taking their final, at least appears to us, final timeout. So they'll be setting up some full court pressure here. And in for Emory and Henry comes number 32, Gabe Brown, 6'5", freshman from Quintwood, Virginia. So 30.4 seconds remaining. 67-71 is the Emory and Henry deficit. On the floor for Emory and Henry, Antonelli, Looney, Morgan, Brown, and Banks. Emory and Henry picks up man-to-man, and the Eagles spread out 4 players at the free throw line, get the ball in bounds. He's trapped, it's batted away, he's trapped. It gets back to the baseline to Young, and Young gets trapped, and he uses a timeout. So 2 timeouts now remaining for the Eagles. 29.9 seconds remaining. That's great pressure, don't you think, Brandon? Great pressure by Emory and Henry. So the Eagles set up, the inbounder, of course, was out of bounds. 4 people along across the free throw line. A cutter went to the corner, which is where you want them to go if you're defense. They passed the ball to him. We trapped it. He was able to get it back to the inbounder, who was about 2 feet away from him. We trapped that, and he was trapped by not just the 2 defenders, but also by the end line there. And so he took a timeout. Oh, so that's they have 1 timeout remaining. I thought they had 3 before they took that one. So they have 1 timeout remaining. 25.9 seconds. Emory and Henry trails 67-71. Emory and Henry at 6 team fouls. So the next time they foul, which is to our advantage, really, the next time we foul, they're shooting, so we can steal we can make the possession change there. They only have 4 team fouls. And again, 67-71 is the Emory and Henry deficit. So the Eagles come out from timeout. Philpott with the ball out of bounds for the Eagles, and he will not be able to run the baseline this time. Now the Eagles have 2 players stacked at the free throw line, 2 players a little bit deeper on the sideline, and Philpott will not be able to run the baseline. I think there's some discussion about how many timeouts left or something with the officials and the Alice Lloyd coach. And our coaches are yucking it up with Tobler. Ball's in bounds, and Morgan fouls Young as quickly as he possibly can. That's his 4th foul, team's 7th. That'll send Young to the free throw line. I'd love to tell you what kind of free throw shooter he is in his career, but we could not find any stats or anything from Alice Lloyd prior to the last 2 games. So Noah Young goes to the free throw line. He's 3 of 4 tonight. I'll knock on wood that he stays 3. But that left-handed shot is up and good. 24.6 seconds remaining. The deficit is 67-72 for the Wasps. And Young has a chance to stretch it to 6. Second shot's up and good.
Eagles in the bonus.
And Eagles, man-to-man, Antonelli brings it, tries to get it to Looney. It goes out of Looney's hands, and now the Eagles pick it up. And Antonelli's the first one that can get there to foul. So that sends Sloan to the free throw line, and he knocks it down. That's his first free throw of the evening. 14.7 seconds remaining, 67-74. Emory and Henry trails the Eagles from Alice Lloyd, and Sloan knocks down the second one, 67-75. So 14 seconds remaining, 8-point deficit. Antonelli's just going to take it all the way, scores it. Emory and Henry picks up full court pressure, traps, and fouls again. 69-75, 8.4 seconds remaining. And Emory and Henry trails by 6, and this will send Young to the free throw line again. He's 5 of 6 from the free throw line for the evening.
They had 2 costly turnovers.
Yep, 2 key turnovers there that it may not have made a difference whether we won or not, but it certainly didn't give us a chance to be able to slice into that deficit. The first shot by Young is good, 69-76. Emory and Henry trails, 8.4 seconds remaining. No timeouts left for Emory and Henry. 9 team fouls. Second one's no good, bounces around. Antonelli with it. He pushes it. He finds Banks in the corner. Banks' 3-point shot's no good. Rebound controlled by Alice Lloyd, and that'll be the ball game. So the first game of the season for Emory and Henry comes to a disappointing close as they lose to the visiting Eagles from Alice Lloyd, 69-76. Who you want to go with?
Looney.
Yeah, well, you go get him. So we'll recap the stats for you here in a minute as the teams shake hands, and also talk to the freshman post player from Grundy, if we can grab him, Cade Looney. So it ended up on the evening, Alice Lloyd shot 51% from the floor. Emory and Henry, not a bad 43%, but 51% is hard to overcome. Emory and Henry was a cold 6 of 25 from the 3-point line, and only went to the free throw line to shoot 8 times. And I know we fouled the Eagles near the end of the game a few times, but they still went to the free throw line more than we did, even without the few free ones at the end, shooting a 13 of 19 from the free throw line. Total rebounds, Emory and Henry held a 1 rebound advantage, 35-34. The bench for Alice Lloyd scored 22 points, and Emory and Henry's was just 11. Second chance points, 17-12 in favor of Emory and Henry. And Emory and Henry owned the points in the paint, 46-38, and also fast break points, 23-7. I'm going to introduce myself to you, Cade. I'm Joy Scruggs. I used to coach women's basketball here a million years ago before you were born. But it's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
So